Ladies and gentlemen, World of Warships Legends is 4 years old. That's right, this April of 2023, with the update, the game will be turning 4. The April 2023 update will be dropping on Monday, April 10th, and it comes packed with a lot of stuff. Today we're going to be covering the patch notes. Keep in mind that what you're seeing on this screen here is the rough draft of the patch notes that Wargaming sends me and all the other community contributors before they post them publicly. So, as such, there might be some stuff that's incomplete in these patch notes. You'll have to refer to the final public version to see everything. But with that disclaimer out of the way, let's start off by talking about collections. In this update, Wargaming is introducing collections. And they're for all the completionists out there, apparently. They offer a new way to enjoy time in the game by giving you opportunities to put together nice sets of memorabilia. The first collection consists of 12 cards depicting various IJN entities, ships, planes, automobiles, apparently, and officer insignia, as well as one special officer himself. You can obtain the collection cards from the containers scattered across a mission chain, and if you do complete them, you will unlock the fearsome Mikasa 23, supporting a bright new paint job. Collections, by the way, are a thing on PC, World of Warships. They're cards like this. They often come out of crates, and once you complete a certain set of collections, they give you a reward. And it's been anything from commanders to, I think in some cases, even ships or premium crates and the like. So, looks like that system is essentially being ported over from PC to console. And the first reward will be a goofy little, I guess, Tier 2 Premium, the Mikasa 23. So there's that. Keep in mind, though, that collections are not yet available on mobile if you play on the mobile platform. Next up, we have loyalty rewards. The annual bonus for playing Legends is making its return. Depending on what year you started playing the game, you'll receive a different present, with the most experienced players receiving a set centered around exclusive Tier 4 French Premium Destroyer Cyclone. Wow, I cannot talk. Apparently, I cannot read. But as for what you might get if you haven't been playing since 2019, as I and I'm sure some of you watching this video have, well, we have no idea what you're going to get. That's going to be announced in a standalone article coming soon, so stay tuned. And of course, it's that time of the year for Golden Week. So, Golden Week is back this update, but with more content. They're going to introduce multiple samurai inspired skins named Shiro for a few ships. Nagato and Fuso are getting this treatment, while Hayate is getting a variation of last year's Golden Week permacamo. And to spice things up, they're introducing another commander guise, Ashikaga Teru. I'm probably butchering that, but this person, or this guise rather, is a samurai lady, keen on always getting into the win column. She also has an individually softly spoken voice that apparently you should totally preview that in the store. And finally, there's some new camo along with other items in the Golden Week 23 crates. You can find all that information at wowslegends.com/containers. And now we get to the campaign. I have no idea how you pronounce this particular word, so I'm not even going to try. But the campaign reward is the Tier 8 Premium IJN Battleship Iwami. Apparently, she packs accurate guns, extremely powerful torpedoes as well. Now, from what I know of the Iwami on World of Warships PC, not exactly everybody's favorite ship in the world. If I remember correctly, not only does this thing have torpedoes on PC, but it also has long range secondaries of the same size as the guns on the Akizuki or the Kitakazi, so the 100 millimeter secondaries. The patch notes don't mention secondaries, so I'm assuming either I'm wrong about remembering the Iwami that way on PC, or the secondaries aren't really a selling point for this ship. In any case, I am not too thrilled about this. I don't know that another battleship as a campaign reward is what we need, especially another tier 8 premium battleship. I feel like we have more than enough of those and not enough tier 8 premium cruisers or really destroyers. So I would have rather liked to see one of those two classes instead of a battleship, but I guess we'll see how the Iwami is when we get our hands on it. Hopefully, it'll be pretty good and worth grinding for. But I don't know, that remains to be seen. Then, of course, we have a breakdown of the campaign. I don't think anything here has really changed. And next, we come to German commander rebalancing. I guess Wargaming has teased balance changes on German commanders, and apparently it's finally happening. There are a few skill shifts and some individual skill rebalancing, and even a few new skills. And apparently, these changes will affect other commanders too, albeit in a limited way. Wargaming says they don't expect massive shifts in power on the German ships, but the builds and gameplay should receive just the right amount of spice. The details are apparently contained in an article that I don't have access to, so I am going to do a little bit of speculation because at the time that I'm recording this video, I know as much about this rebalancing as you did before these patch notes were even released. I suspect it has something to do with secondaries, although that remains to be seen. Anyway, moving on. Radar rework. Another important global balance change concerns how radar is going to function from now on. The rework entails the user of the consumable getting the reconnaissance data immediately, while their allies can only see the enemy icons on the minimap immediately, and will spot the revealed enemy ship visibly on the sea after 5 seconds. Additionally, messages to allies about radar or sonar being active are going to be displayed in the combat log. That's excellent. That is an excellent improvement. And the player tag also receives a radar icon next to it for as long as the consumable is active. That is fantastic. This is a great little quality of life change. And in addition, they are also buffing the radar on apparently two ships, the Orkan and the USS Black. 15 to 20-second duration for the Orkan, 13 to 19 seconds for the Black. Then there's some miscellaneous balance changes. They did make updates to King of George and Duke of York's armor. So apparently they're giving them an improved repair party. If you don't know, I don't think this was actually announced in the last patch notes, but what they did was change the armor models on both of these ships, and previously the citadels on King George and Duke of York were underwater. So the King George especially had a reputation of being incredibly difficult to citadel, not because it was well armored or anything like that, but because the citadel was basically unreachable underwater. That is no longer the case, so both the King George and the Duke of York are more vulnerable. So I guess they're buffing the repair party. It looks like this might not be exactly the British super heal, but it's an improved heal for both the King George and Duke of York. Then there's going to be a new season of Arena, actually 3 new seasons, and it's going to be Tier 7, 8, and Legendary. Full divisions allowed, no CVs. It drops on the very dank 420. That's when the start of this Arena fun begins, so look forward to that. And now, my personal favorite part of these patch notes, frag counter permanent camouflage. This is nothing too spectacular, but it sounds cool to me. Wooster, Shimakaze, and Yamato now have access to a special permanent camo. This camo will display the number of ships you've sunk with the ship it's applied to, and the count will reflect all the adversaries you've destroyed previously. The look costs 5,000 steel and is available in the forge, so hey, they're giving us something besides the Missouri to spend steel on. And personally, I imagine that these skins might appeal to a lot of players. If you're going to be able to put it on your ship, and the number right here is going to say how many enemies you have sunk with that ship, honestly, I think that's pretty nifty. And I'm definitely going to get this camo, probably for the Yamato, because I kind of hate the Shima, and I like the Wooster, but I play the Yamato more. In any case, we're getting close to the end here. We've got new ships of the update: Tier 6 British battleship Collingwood. As I understand it on PC, this is the replacement to the Nelson. The Nelson was considered too powerful on PC. It is no longer available. They replaced it with this. This thing has only, what, 6 guns instead of the Nelson's 9. Apparently, it boasts great accuracy and big guns, and it also, I believe, has a main battery reload booster on top of it, so that's interesting. But from what I recall, at least on PC, the armor on this thing is not the same as Nelson. Nelson has a 32 millimeter plate that goes from like here to there on the ship. So, of course, the bow and the stern plating are overmatchable, but if you angle the Nelson side right here, you can get 16-inch shells and lower to bounce off of it. Now, Collingwood on PC did not have that 32 millimeter plate. It had 26, so it was overmatchable everywhere by everything. I really hope that's not the case with Collingwood in World of Warships Legends, but it remains to be seen. As I understood it, this was an inferior clone of the Nelson, and I kind of think it is strange that they're giving us Collingwood, which I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe this is a wargaming creation. This is not a historical ship, but Nelson did have a sister ship, HMS Rodney, and I think it would make more sense to say that, but provided this is another Nelson of a different kind of flavor, I guess we'll see how it is. And then something that I'm really, really not happy about seeing: Udachi and Hayate are returning. I don't so much mind that Hayate is returning, but this thing, I had hoped we would never see this come to the store again. Both of these ships are going to be available for global XP. Udachi is going to cost 750k, along with the rest of the tier 7s, and Hayate, like the Elbing, will cost 1.4 million. They're going to be here to stay starting on April 24th, and apparently there's going to be a bonus to GXP conversion from that date until May 8th. So if you want to spend money on converting your Elite XP to GXP, you can do it more efficiently between those two dates in case you want to get the Hayate or the Udachi. The Udachi coming back is not a great thing in my view, and that is not because I necessarily think the ship is overpowered. I might have told you that a couple years ago, but these days I think IJN torpedo boats are widely the most popular class of destroyers, and as a consequence, the least well played. And they are, especially the Udachi, mostly torpedo boats, and I really hate destroyers that rely more on torpedoes than guns, like the IJN, so I never play Udachi or any of the IJN line, really. And most of the time I see people driving these things within like 5 kilometers of their target so that they can line up their torpedoes on point blank range, and then they get spotted and they die instantly. So I don't think the Udachi is a great ship as far as the meta is concerned, and um, I think I just think these are poorly played destroyers. I don't like the Udachi. I really am disappointed to see it return to the game. But you might disagree with me. You might have missed the Udachi campaign back in the day, and you might want to get your hands on this destroyer. So if you're one of those people, now you can. And by all means, do it, because the Udachi is a powerful little torpedo boat. So. Moving on, we've got stats per ship. So they gave us the updated stats page last update where we can see more details on the service record. Now we're going to be able to browse the individual statistics for ships and all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to taking a look at that. And it looks like maybe, well, I don't know. It says technical stats and armor viewer. The statistics tab is available in the ship menu. Oh, okay. It's available between the technical stats and the armor viewer. Got it. In any case, I'm very curious to see what some of my stats look like on various ships. And then we've got some changes to the mobile interface that I don't really feel like they're worth highlighting. And then some sundry bug fixes, which again, none of them I feel like are extremely worth highlighting, but this change is intriguing. Atlantico's 234 millimeter secondaries now have quarter pen instead of 1/6. Even at 1/6, they could pen 32, which is an important threshold, but now they're getting the German pen so they can pen up to 59 millimeters. That actually improves the secondaries, at least marginally. I don't know in practice how much of a buff that is, but I like the Atlantico, so I'm not disappointed to see it. And then they've done something to the interface for the player menu, and they've added some support for the Korean and Chinese languages. And that's about it. I think this is kind of a low-key update. I think the big stuff is probably coming sometime more near July, because that's always a big update. So this is a pretty low-key one. Nothing I'm honestly too terribly excited about, but we will, of course, be streaming at some point on Update Monday, so I'll certainly see you then. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.